Okay, this is 252 Pop Fiction, where you'll find all the news and reviews in pop culture that's right to type. Today's top story. A passenger on a flight from Sacramento to San Diego repeatedly disobeyed in-flight orders and became verbally and physically violent upon landing. According to Southwest Airlines, and a flight attendant was seriously attacked, resulting in facial injuries and the loss of 2 teeth. When the plane landed, law enforcement met the passenger and took him into custody. This spring, there have been 477 incidents so far.
All right, so I heard this was a lady, not a him.
It was a woman?
Yeah, it was a woman who struck a female flight attendant and knocked out 2 of her teeth. That's what I thought I heard.
Okay, you could be right. All right.
And listen to this. The ladies who got arrested, her mom was saying that she was defending herself. I was like, what?
Wait.
Well, they're savage flight attendants who just start hitting people and
let's not hold
people.
on. Let's not jump to conclusions. The last flight I was on, the pilot had to get on the intercom and was like, "Hey, listen, you need to comply with the rules. You got to wear your mask."
To the passengers, right?
Unless you're not, yeah. He was saying it just in general. But just to remind you, if you're not listening to the flight attendants, when we land,
we'll whoop your ass.
You will be dealt with. And I'm just saying, I didn't read ahead to see what the actual incident that first started it. But again, with my experiences,
sketchy.
People don't want to comply. I think we're at the end of our rope with a lot of our patients when it comes to COVID protocols.
Yeah, I know. You say we as in Americans as a whole. I'm not. I'm fine. Wear a mask.
I'm fine. Listen, I'm fine with following the rules.
Yeah,
I gotta wear a mask at work. I wear a mask at work.
That's what
when I'm in the
about.
break room, they say you're supposed to wear it and you eat and put it back on. Do I do that? Yeah.
Somebody
but
is watching.
But if I'm around, I'm protected.
If I'm in a place and everyone is vaccinated, mask off, man. But big crowds, mask on. Just like the CDC says. The developmental Disney Plus show Rangers of the New Republic is no longer being worked on at the studio. First time I'm hearing about this. It's uncertain if the series will be placed on hold indefinitely or will return to Lucasfilm's slate at some point in the future. There was no explanation given for the change.
Okay.
Well, I think we know.
I think we know what the explanation is.
JB wished it.
What? He was tired of it. Tired of smelling it. So... All right, let's speculate.
Is this all on
I believe.
her back?
I'm not going to say it's all on her back, but the show was. It was going to be her vehicle. This was her show. The her we're talking about is Gina Carano.
And I know, and you're saying all on my back. I was upset they were pulling her from the show because I actually knew who you were talking about. For once in my life,
this
you put a name up there and I recognized it and knew who it was.
Yes.
That is
and then
true.
she's being pulled from the show?
Yeah.
I know nothing.
And the show was being pulled itself.
Now the show's
being pulled.
Well, because they had, there's a certain amount of people behind the scenes. There's been a certain amount of people that are going to bat for it because, yes, we all know that after, you're working for Disney, you're actually working for a children's television movie studio thing, right? So you can't really, there's a lot of rhetoric that you should be smart enough not to say. Do we live in a free country? Yes. Did you sign a morality clause that said you're not going to be doing certain things? I assume
yes. I ordered but I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth. So I think it's probably going to come back.
It's about following the rules, and the rabble rousers are getting roused.
And I think eventually it will return to the slate. She will be back starring in it. Hopefully won't say everything. If she does, put it up on a dummy account. Like, say whatever you want as Tina Gerbano. Tina Gerbano got a lot of things she got to say.
Tina Garbanzo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Amazon announced it had reached an agreement to buy MGM, the home of James Bond and one of Hollywood's most recognizable film studios. The $8.45 billion transaction.
Damn, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Yeah. It's more than I have.
Yeah.
Transaction provides Amazon access to a large library of movies and TV shows that it can use to expand its Prime Video content library.
This is a great idea. I'm going to be on Amazon a lot more
But
now.
this confused me because James Bond has been on Sony Pictures for like the past 2 or 3 movies he's made. It's been Sony. Sony owns James Bond, so Sony selling.
Maybe it's the old.
Maybe it's the old
movie?
stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But like James Bond right now, James Bond and Spider-Man, property of Sony.
Yeah.
Let's back it all the way up real quick. 2012, when Disney announced that they were buying Lucasfilms and Marvel Studios, basically got laughed at. They were like, wow, you guys are spending a lot of money on these things and stuff like that. You know, whatever.
Smash cut to today.
Smash cut to today, and it's like billion dollar movies. that keep
It's worth
coming
it
out.
because in the long run we're gonna make triple.
So I feel like what Amazon is doing is like, wow, we'll pay the $8.45 billion now, and then if lightning strikes twice and they get a dozen or so movies that hit it out the park, and you got to understand, MGM Studios, that is a bigger treasure trove than Marvel Studios and Lucas.
MGM's been around since day
Since
one.
day one. I'm like the Wizard of Oz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's what I'm saying.
they're doing a new Willy Wonka thing. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Another reboot.
I know, but listen, if it's all going into Jeff Bezos or Amazon's
Coffers.
hopefully that means that my shipping will stay free.
Okay, here's a trivia question everyone gets wrong. I think you've heard me ask you guys before. Who is or what is the number one longest running film franchise in movie history?
Godzilla.
It's not James Bond. Everybody says James Bond, it is Godzilla.
Right.
Godzilla's got almost 10 years on James Bond and a lot more movies.
Yep.
Right.
Godzilla has been featured in every decade since its inception.
Yeah. Oh, here's a quick one too. Longest running franchise with the same actor in it. I think that is going to have to go to. I have no papers to back this up, but I think Mission Impossible and Tom Cruise. He's got like 30 years on this franchise, almost.
Well, how many
20.
movies did he make?
6.
He doesn't beat Bond.
I
Roger
know.
Moore and Chuck
Well,
Connery
I'm talking about
both
the
did
length.
7 in the list.
length
Both
of
of you
time.
guys are wrong.
Oh,
You know who did it?
talk to me.
It's all about family. 9 films.
Well, yeah, 9 films, but they started in 1999.
9 films.
They started in 99.
Going from 99
Mission Impossible
to
started
20.
in 96. That was the first Mission Impossible movie, and he's still making movies. They've
Actually, you know what? I don't even think they started in 99. I think they started in 2001, actually.
I was just.
you know what? I think you were
I think
right.
it's
You're
even
right.
later than that
2001.
because my cousin wanted me to go see Fast Friday, and I hadn't watched previous films, and I looked up the first one. I think it's a little bit after 2001, if I recall.
No, I think it's actually
Because it had
2001.
the date or it had the year, and I was looking at the Fast and Furious. Had the
like
year.
It's 2001.
2000,
Is it
2001.
2001?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
But
I think this is the 20-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But like Roger Moore was in 7 consecutive Bond films.
Right.
I don't know the years he started and stopped, but he ran a long time.
Yeah, he
Did he-
was done.
Yeah.
He was done. It was,
they-
he was
25 years is the length of time that Tom Cruise has been doing the Mission Impossible franchise.
Well,
That's
Sean Connery,
nuts.
he
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
yeah. And still out there doing his own stunts. And just like we reported last
Number
time,
60.
when he was when he blew up at the crew for not following COVID protocols. And then they tried to do it, trying to throw him under the bus with that, but he was like, "No, this is there's right
Teflon
and there's
Tom.
wrong." Now, you want to talk about COVID protocols? This week's review: Army of the Dead.
Oh, right.
Zack Snyder returns to the genre following a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas. A crew of mercenaries.
I like the first one better.
decides to take the
Mercenators.
the ultimate risk
I'd love to
and
see that
enter the
movie,
quarantine
The
zone
Mercenaries.
in order to pull off the greatest heist ever.
I'll be back.
Starring Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
what's her name?
Tig Notaro.
Tig Notaro, who ultimately stole the movie, in my opinion. And then I found out later she never met.
They green screened her in the whole movie. They green screened
her in the whole movie. She was so funny and everything, and I was just like, wow, you know. And then I found out later she was green screened. Never met anybody in the cast. Probably the reason why she seems so. Well, okay. So
can I ask a question about the ending though?
Go ahead.
Army of the
Do
Dead.
they reach a safe point, think it's safe, and then during the credits the zombies are coming? Because that's like the ending of every zombie movie made.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
For the past 20 years, which is why I don't watch zombie movies.
Well,
they make it to a safe place.
Yes, I would say
Then during
that's
the
exactly
credits.
what they did in Dawn of the Dead. They made it to the island, and they thought it was good, and they had that video camera footage of, oh no, it's not even
Just
safe here.
say Of the Dead and insert here.
Yeah.
All the movies ended the same. It's like,
Yeah, they're all the same. The only thing.
Well, that's
that
the
changes
only way to keep a franchise going, and with this being a legitimate franchise, because I believe they're going to do an animated prequel feature of Army of the Dead, which is going to give us that 14-minute, I guess, prologue that we saw in the credits. I think we're actually going to see that in animated form, I believe.
All right.
I believe that's what that is. I felt like there was a good movie right there that we could have saw, and it was like, because when they were doing it, they were like, I was like, hey, so why do we need to watch this movie?
Yeah.
He just saved the day.
So Zack Snyder's doing that all the time. Add a little something that is going to make its own separate movie that we want to see.
That's what we want to see. But we saw this other thing instead. I care about the characters? Not really. Was it good zombie? You know, I like the different thing of a zombie
kills.
being like, I don't know about the zombie baby. If I needed to see a second zombie baby, you know, I don't know what's
on
up
the
with-
other one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the second, but this was more of a zombie fetus, and I was like, yuck. Like, why would she was barely pregnant, so I knew it was going to be little.
Yeah.
You know, and Kanan was like, this is going to be a dead zombie baby. I was like, I don't know. Why would they do that? Oh, they did it. It made no sense.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
all right, this week, JB remembers the Thundercats.
Oh!
We ain't even worked.
I know.
Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are loose.
Damn it.
Feel the magic, feel the roar. Thundercats are loose.
Damn it.
Thunder, 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 Thundercats.
They premiered in 1985, made by one of my favorite animation studios, Rankin Bass.
Yes.
And I did do research a while back. They only did like 3 more cartoon series. And then they were done. This is one of the last ones they did, certainly the last successful show they
updated it.
did. It was created by Ted Tobin Wolfe. The first season ran 65 episodes.
I know. That's
nuts.
nuts. 65 half-hour episodes.
You remember the team was Lion-O, Panthro, Tigra, Chitara, Wily Kid and Cat, Snarf, and the Force Ghost Jaga. Obviously,
Force Ghost.
Yeah, obviously stolen from Star Wars, a Force Ghost Jaga.
Definitely.
They were constantly being pursued by Mum Ra, the mutants of Plundar,
The ever-living.
and various other bad guys. They did make a movie called Thundercats Ho, which was split into 5 episodes to begin the disasters. Second season, where they introduced new Thundercats, some kind of watchtower, and I changed. Turn the channel.
Even as a preteen, I knew that.
Yeah, that
That's
was
junk.
That was bad.
I stayed for the ride. Love the Thundercats.
I love Thundercats. I used to rush home from school so I would not miss the Thundercats.
I remember that the premiere came on at night. It came on at like 7 p.m. I was
I
like,
do
what
not
is
remember
this?
that.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I was hooked.
And then it was something like 4:30 in the afternoon. I usually rolled in about 10 to 5, and I was like, let me see Thundercats.
Now, I don't know if this was just my memory, my brain telling me this, or was it actually in the show. But Chitara and Tigra, they were the couple, right?
I don't think
No.
so.
Everybody was single. And ready to make
Nah, man, Tiger,
The Tiger was
and
beating
Chitara,
those.
yeah, because Chitara didn't do Lion-O, because Lion-O was actually a little kid
Yeah, he was a little boy, and then he
in a grown man's body.
Yeah,
He got Tom Hanks bigged, and then it was like, he's the leader now.
he got pretty bigged.
Yeah, he was that pre-big? That was pre-big. He was
Pre-big.
pre-big.
Also to mention,
So big comic Thundercats.
Lionel also had the Claw Shield,
Yes.
the
Yes.
Sword of Omens,
Yes.
the Eye of Thundera.
The Eye of Thundera. Show me sight by sight.
Sword of
Sight
Omens. Show me sights
Give me
beyond.
sight beyond sight.
Sight beyond sight.
Yeah.
Whatever.
My favorite episodes, they broke into 5 pieces. They didn't air sequentially.
Ooh,
There
that's
was like 2 or
confusing.
3 episodes in between. Was the Trial of Lionel, Trial of the Thundercats, where he had to defeat each Thundercat,
Yes.
take their emblem, and his final trial was to finally defeat Mum-Ra.
Right. I
Oh,
remember
it was
that.
fantastic. It was at the end of the season, and it's like you watch the first part and you're like, oh, here comes the next part of no, he's fighting someone else. And then 2 or 3 episodes later, part 2 of Trial of the Thundercats.
That was bullshit. He beat Panthro. Panthro would beat Lionel's ass if he didn't have the shield and the
All
sword.
day. Panthro had nunchucks. Bruce Lee had nunchucks. Panther had nunchucks.
And he was black.
And he was black. He was clearly a black man. Clearly a black man. For whoop that boy ass. Who that? This is Panthro. Whooping your ass.
They also, in 1985, Marvel released a Star comic for Thundercats,
Yes, they
I
did.
remember.
which is very hot right now.
Man, wish I would have known. I would have kept that shit. Well, hey, this week Ralphie D recommends The Unholy. All right, I'm going to admit I'm a little bit biased on this, and I'll tell you why after the synopsis. After a supposed visitation from the Virgin Mary, a young girl mysteriously discovers the ability to cure the sick. A disgraced journalist visits the small New England town to investigate as news spreads and people flock to witness her miracles. When strange occurrences begin to happen, he begins to wonder if they are the product of something more sinister. Now, I came into this movie not knowing anything about it, but then when I saw Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in it, I was like, I'm in. William Sadler, I'm in. KZ Hazelton from The League, I'm in. Carrie Elwes, I'm in. His Boston accent was horrible, but you got to see this movie.
Or you be the master now.
I'm telling you right now, I'm
Oh,
biased.
no, you be the big boss man now.
Because when I got to the theater, about 10 minutes into the movie, I went to the restroom. When I came back, I found $50 on the ground. I got back to my seat. I leaned into my partner. I was like, best movie ever. I will never forget this.
I saw this movie. I thought it was pretty good.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't outstanding.
No.
But I don't think it was
No, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
This
It was
movie
decent.
had a thing that I love when movies have, and that is stakes. There were stakes.
Yeah, it was interesting. And
People were
I
getting
didn't think it
fucking
was
killed.
I want to say something. I want to ask a question. This is just a general question. Because of the times that we live in, the state of affairs and whatnot, are we giving
Starving
more
for
of a-
content?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We're giving it more of a gentle pass with some movies, especially when we take the time to see them in the theater. Because I feel like when we watch it at home, as opposed to the theater, the last couple times that I've been talking about certain movies like Kong versus Godzilla, and then there was another movie we talked about that like Rayonitis went to the theater to see it. Oh, Mortal Kombat. He saw both of those movies in the theater with the Dolby surround and the speakers and everything, and you're watching it. The big monsters are fighting, and he was like, I watched it at home.
I watched it at home first. I enjoyed it.
Did you watch it in the theater also?
Saw it in the theater this week. Because I wanted to
What'd you
see the
think?
big guys on the big screen.
I think I might do
And
that.
it was enjoyable. I love the movie, but I'm a Godzilla fan.
Yeah.
And this was I thought it was a great movie.
I thought the movie was terrible, but I thought the fights were good, and watching it on the big screen. I'm not going to say the movie was terrible. I'll say that the story was
Okay,
terrible.
but I'm just saying the overall movie-going experience. I
Yeah.
feel like we are being
more
gentler
generous, yeah.
when we go to the theater as opposed to the watching it at home.
If I'd have found
Is that-
$50 on the floor in my bedroom while I was watching it on my
I would have
big
thought I
screen
just
TV,
dropped $50. If I found $50 at the movie theater, best goddamn movie ever.
Well, I know you were knocking it, Ralph, because of the Hollow Earth thing. That goes back to
We just
old
can't.
sci-fi.
I know.
can't
Journey
wipe
to
out.
the center of
I
the
know.
earth.
Look,
Listen,
I
we can't
don't
just
have a
blow
problem.
past the whole.
It's just
The tunnel,
Listen.
the tunnel from Florida to Japan, and everybody was just cool with it. I probably had to watch the other movies, but I was like,
No,
what?
you didn't.
And I was nodding off, and when I was waking up, I'm like, they're in Japan?
they were in Hong Kong.
It doesn't
Big difference.
matter.
China, Japan. Two different countries.
We'd like to hear what you think. Leave us a comment down below and let your opinion be heard, except for that comment.
And if you like this video, please check out other videos on our channel. And if you're looking for great food and even better relationship advice, check out my little sister, the beautiful ladies of Dining with Diva.
I'm JB. I'd like to give a shout out to my man AM at Comics Most Wanted. Like him, follow him, subscribe. And this is 252 Pop Fiction, where you hear it first.
I thought I had it.
Yeah, I thought you had it too. All right, that was about 30 minutes.
I'm Adonis. Pull yourself together.